In the heart of ancient Itaye, where the baobab trees whispered to the wind and the rivers sang lullabies at dusk, beauty was more than skin, it was legacy. Hair, in particular, was sacred. Braiding was not mere fashion, but a ceremony of power, lineage, and spiritual connection. Every strand carried history, and every braid was a prayer. Itaye prepared for the Festival of Blossoms, a once-in-a-decade celebration where the spirit of rain would choose the most worthy maiden as its earthly bride. That maiden would dance, draped in blossoms, before the sacred flame under the full moon. In return, the village would be blessed with bountiful rains and protection from drought. Nyana was chosen. She was 17, with skin the color of dusk and eyes like quiet stars. Her hair, long and thick, flowed like river silk. Her laughter made elders smile and children giggle. She walked as though her footsteps told stories. No one doubted her selection. Except Zelina. Zelina, her elder sister by 3 seasons, stood tall and sharp. Her beauty was fierce, her mind a blade, and her silence heavy. While Nyana warmed rooms, Zelina often chilled them. For years, she lived in the shadow of her sister's light. Though both daughters of Moko the weaver and Esh the herbalist, only Nyana had been marked by the village seer as she will call the rain. Zelina smiled at her sister's joy, but inside, her spirit churned. That night, after the family feasted on yam stew and honeyed plantains, Zelina went to the edge of the whispering forest. She knelt before a twisted tree wrapped in red thread. "Momoko," she whispered. A breeze circled her. The tree opened. From its hollow stepped Momoko, a hunched woman with skin like cracked bark and eyes that glowed like fireflies. "You call me, first daughter. Give me what belongs to me." Momoko laughed, a sound like dry leaves. "You want your sister's crown. I want her spotlight dimmed. Just enough to step forward." Momoko plucked 3 black seeds from her necklace and crushed them. From the dust, she pulled a comb carved from bone. "Braid her hair with this. Do it as she sleeps. Say nothing, think only of your longing." Zelina reached out. "But beware," Momoko warned. "You braid not only hair, but hunger." That night, Zelina moved silently through the darkened hut. Nyana slept, dreaming of laughter and jasmine petals. Zelina, with hands that trembled only slightly, braided her sister's hair. The comb glowed faintly. Into each blade, a whisper was woven, a seed of envy sown. The final braid hissed. When morning came, Nyana awoke with heavier hair. She brushed it aside and smiled. Must be the excitement. The village bustled. Dancers practiced, drummers tuned their rhythms. Blossoms were gathered, blue hibiscus, white frangipani, golden ixora. The spirit flame was lit in the town square, guarded by elders and crowned with offerings. At dusk, Nyana stepped forward in her ceremonial dress. Braided hair coiled like a queen's crown, she bowed before the flame. The drums began. As she danced, petals falling from her arms, her feet light as air, something stirred. A hiss, subtle. A flicker. The snakes woke. Her braids writhed. At first, the villagers gasped in awe. Then in horror. A scream pierced the air as a snake slithered from her crown, tongue flickering. Nyana froze. Chaos erupted. Children were pulled away. Elders dropped their staffs. The spirit flame dimmed. Zelina gasped, too convincingly. She's cursed. Nyana, her eyes wide, backed away from the flame. The snakes is louder, defending her. She ran. Into the forest. The last thing she heard was Zelina's voice calling after her, "Wait. Don't hurt her." But Nyana knew. The voice lied. The forest swallowed her whole. And the festival of blossoms ended in ash. The forest of Itaye was no ordinary place. Ancient and vast, it had seen more years than any elder could recall. Spirits danced between the trees, their laughter caught in the wind. Roots moved when no one watched. Shadows carried whispers. Nyana ran until her lungs burned. Her heart pounded like the festival drums, and her hair, no, the creatures in it, shifted and stirred with every breath. She stumbled into a grove lit by fireflies. There, she collapsed, sobbing. The snakes, as if soothed by her pain, quieted. One uncoiled and wrapped gently around her wrist, not biting, just resting. She didn't scream. Not anymore. You are not mine, she whispered to them. What are you? The snake blinked. She thought she saw a shimmer of sadness in its golden eyes. She slept beneath a fig tree. Dreams came thick and wild, of Momoko laughing, of Zelina weeping, of herself wrapped in braids that turned to roots, anchoring her to the earth. Morning brought mist and silence. Nyana awoke to a figure watching her. A man. Young, tall, cloaked in woven leaves and bark. His eyes were amber, his face painted in streaks of ochre. He held a staff carved with spirals. You carry a curse, he said simply. Nyana sat up. Who are you? Kofi. Spirit hunter. I track broken magics. Yours is ancient. He approached slowly. The snakes hissed. He paused. They won't harm me. They know me. What do you mean? Kofi crouched beside her. This curse, it was woven with blood longing. That kind of spell feeds on connection. You were betrayed by someone close. Nyana lowered her eyes. My sister. Kofi nodded. Then we must find the oracle of Nimu trees. She speaks to those who are bound. So began their journey. Through root-thick paths and vine-covered trails, they traveled. Spirits trailed them, curious and coy. A three-eyed monkey dropped figs in Nyana's lap. A river sang her name. The snakes learned her moods, curling tight when she feared, loosening when she laughed. Kofi told her stories as they walked. Of old warriors who turned to stone. Of a bird that sang so sweetly it melted fire. Of a boy cursed to become a goat each moon. Magic, he said, always demands payment. Nyana asked, what price will I pay? Kofi did not answer. They reached the Nimu trees, a grove where the trunks twisted into faces. The oracle stood waiting. Hair like dry grass, robes of moss, eyes silver. You bring the serpent maiden, she said. Nyana stepped forward. Tell me how to undo this. The oracle tilted her head. Undo? There is no undoing. Only transforming. You seek not freedom, but truth. She reached into a pouch and handed Nyana a seed. Plant this where betrayal was born. Only then will the path be clear. Kofi looked at Nyana. We must return. Nyana stared at the seed, her fingers trembling. Back to Itaye. Back to Zelina. The snake stirred. The journey home would be anything but quiet. The way back to Itaye was not the same path Nyana had fled. The forest shifted, its trails rearranged by unseen hands, as if trying to test the resolve of those who dared return. Trees bent inward, branches hung like arms offering all warning, and the air grew thicker with memory. Kofi moved ahead, clearing a path with his staff. Nyana followed closely, the snakes in her hair subdued but alert. Their eyes glinted like opals in the dappled light, and sometimes they whispered things she couldn't quite understand. After 2 days' journey, they arrived at a vast, mist-covered stretch of land. The trees here were massive, their trunks etched with symbols older than the village of Itaye itself. Kofi paused at the threshold. This is the forest of forgotten names, he said. Those who enter without purpose lose more than direction. They lose their story. Nyana clutched the seed the oracle had given her. Then we must hold on to who we are. The moment they stepped into the forest, the world quieted. No birds. No wind. Even their footsteps seemed muffled. Strange things began to happen almost immediately. They came upon a river, still and black as obsidian. A child sat at its edge, humming. Her face was old, eyes wrinkled, but her body was small. Don't speak to her, Kofi warned, but Nyana was already kneeling. Are you all right? The child smiled. You're looking for something you lost, aren't you? Nyana blinked. Yes. Then give me your name. Just a little. Kofi yanked Nyana back. The child shrieked like a bird and vanished into the river, which turned red for a heartbeat. Everything here wants a piece of you, Kofi said. Your name, your shadow, your heartbeat. Don't offer anything. They continued. Hours passed, or was it days? Time unraveled. Nyana began to hear voices calling her name. Her mother's lullabies. Her father's laughter. Zelina's giggle from years ago. Ignore them, Kofi urged. But one night, Nyana wandered from the camp, drawn by the sound of her sister cry. She found a clearing, and there stood Zelina or something wearing a face. "Sister," it sobbed. "Forgive me. Let me braid your hair one last time." Nyana stepped forward, then stopped. The snakes hissed. The illusion shattered. Before her stood a tree shaped like a woman, arms outstretched, thorns instead of fingers. Nyana returned to camp, shaken. The snakes wrapped around her neck like a shawl, protective and calm. At last, they reached the heart of the forest, a hill of stone faces. The burial ground of Nyana's bloodline. "This is where you plant the seed," Kofi said. Nyana approached the center stone, one etched with the name Pesh, her mother. She knelt and dug a hole with her bare hands. She placed the seed inside and whispered, "May the truth bloom." As the soil covered the seed, the ground trembled. A bloom erupted instantly, a midnight flower with petals that shimmered. From its center rose a reflection, not in water, but suspended in air. The mirror of Molomo. Nyana stepped forward and looked into it. She saw everything. Zelina at the tree. The glowing comb. The snake slithering into her hair. The moment Momoko smiled in the shadows. And then, Zelina weeping after. Begging the spirit to take the magic back. But it was too late. Truth, Nyana whispered, is heavier than lies. Behind her, Kofi knelt, weakened. "What's happening?" she asked. "The magic, it recognizes me. My ancestors once served yours. My spirit is bound to your fate." Nyana turned to the mirror once more. "Then we finish this. Together." The snakes began to sing. A lullaby. The return journey began under a blood-orange sky. The forest, having unveiled its secrets, seemed to part for Nyana and Kofi. The trees bent respectfully, and the spirits whispered her name not with malice, but reverence. Yet Nyana felt no triumph. The truth she carried was a blade, sharp and sorrowful. She knew what had to be done. Zelina's betrayal was no longer a mystery, but the why behind it still ached. She had seen her sister's anguish, her regret. But magic, once unleashed, did not unwind itself easily. They traveled swiftly, guided by a path lit by fireflies that shimmered like stars fallen to earth. The snakes were quieter now, coiled calmly in her hair, their eyes watchful but not wild. A few had even taken to resting gently on her shoulders, silent guardians. When they reached the outskirts of Itaye, the village was not as they had left it. Dry. Silent. Withered. The spirit flame had gone cold. Crops had failed. The elders stood with hollow eyes. Children no longer laughed. The curse had spread. Word of Nyana's return swept like wildfire. At first, people fled. Then, slowly, they emerged, from huts, from fields, from behind fear. Seeing her not as a monster, but as the girl they once celebrated. Zelina was waiting in the village square. She looked older. Paler. The fire in her eyes had dimmed, replaced by something broken. Her hands trembled at her sides. "You came back," she said. "I had to. For them. For us. I didn't know it would." "You did," Nyana cut in gently. "But you didn't know it would cost you too." Zelina fell to her knees. "I tried to undo it. I begged Momoko. But she vanished." Kofi stepped forward. "The only way to unbind a curse born of blood is with blood. Not death, truth. A sacred reckoning." The villagers formed a circle. Elders lit small flames and began to chant. This was the rite of reflection, performed only once in a generation, meant to cleanse a spirit burdened by sorrow. Nyana and Zelina stepped into the center. "Speak your truth," intoned Elder Benjo. Zelina, tears streaking her cheeks, spoke. "I was jealous. My heart was full of shadows. But I never wanted to destroy you, Nyana. I only wanted to be seen. I wanted to matter." Nyana looked at her sister, not with anger, but with ache. "You always mattered. You were just looking at me instead of seeing yourself." She removed the snakes from her hair, one by one. They slithered to the ground, circling the two sisters. The last snake, a silver-scaled one with eyes like dawn, wrapped itself around both their wrists, binding them. From the ground erupted a great burst of light. The spirit flame rekindled. The clouds gathered above. Rain fell. Gentle. Pure. Cleansing. The crops stirred, leaves opening to drink. The people of Itaye wept and danced. And the snakes, one by one, slithered into the earth, their purpose fulfilled. Zelina wept openly. Nyana pulled her into an embrace. We moved forward. Together. From the trees, Momoko watched. She smiled. Every curse, she whispered to the wind, is just a story waiting to be rewritten. Weeks passed since the rain's return. Itaye bloomed like never before. The yam fields sprouted thick and tall, the river overflowed with fish, and birdsong returned to the dawn. Yet amidst the renewal, whispers began of what Nyana had become, and what power remained within her. She no longer braided her hair. Not because she feared the return of serpents, but because she listened to the silence where they had once hissed. The absence was profound, as though they had taken a piece of a spirit with them into the soil. Elder Benjo summoned her one morning. She found him beneath the spirit flame, now burning with a constant blue hue. The people believe in you again, child, he said. But belief, like fire, must be fed with meaning. It's time. Time for what? To be crowned. Nyana blinked. I don't want a crown. You already wear one, he said, touching her brow. It's invisible to you, but it shines in others' eyes. The crowning ceremony was unlike any before. Instead of flowers and song, the villagers walked with silence. Each brought a pinch of ash from the hearts that had once gone cold, and a golden leaf from the trees now revived. The ashes were mixed with river clay. The leaves were strung into a circlet. Together, they formed the crown of ash and gold, a symbol of ruin transformed by grace. Zelina placed it on Nyana's head. You've become more than the spirit's bride, she whispered. You are its voice. Its will. Its echo. The villagers bowed. Yet Nyana did not feel above them. She felt rooted among them, like the oldest tree among the grove. That night, the stars burned bright and the moon hung low. Kofi joined her at the riverbank. He had remained in the village, guiding, protecting, and slowly laughing. You're leaving soon, aren't you? He asked. I think so. The forest still calls. Will you come back? Perhaps. Or perhaps I'll become a whisper, like the ones we once followed. He smiled. If so, I hope the wind blows in my direction. They sat in quiet companionship. Before dawn, Nyana left. Alone. She walked barefoot, the crown still upon her head, the silence rich with possibility. Some say she became a guardian of the deeper woods. Others say she found Momoko and became the next keeper of forbidden magics. A few say she became a spirit herself, appearing in times of drought, braiding the hair of young girls with invisible threads of protection. But all remember her name. Nyana, the girl with the serpent crown, who turned a curse into a kingdom. The end.